Hello and welcome to another edition of the Dugout Podcast. I am your co-host Andrew, and I'm joined alongside my fellow co-host Marissa.
Yes, I'm here again.
She isn't feeling the best, so we're thankful that you could come. Unfortunately, she's not feeling the best, but she's also not looking the best. So let me apologize to viewers
Boy!
straight off the bat.
Oh my
Because,
gosh.
she decided to come on the show.
Please go outside.
We're back. You know what I'm saying? You know, make certain teams get big win. Don't get them often. When they get a big win, just go out and rep the colors. But I apologize, if you clear off of that.
Listen to me. If your derby had played on Saturday, we both would have been here with our shirts.
No, we wouldn't.
All right.
Be there everything for me is not enough for me to bring on a shirt.
Oh my
gosh. Anyhow, welcome to another episode of Dugout. We are happy to be back. Chelsea and Hiller, and I believe that because Chelsea are in such a lofty position, which they're not accustomed to, she's catching some bad feet. But don't worry, hang in there. Hopefully, you'll make it to the end. That being said, we're going to start with cricket first and foremost. So the West Indies, talking about second test and the first two games of the ODI series, or at least mention them, I suppose. But the West Indies drew the test series 1-1. I'll start because I had a lot to say about them last time, kind of. You said it was complimentary.
Oh gosh.
I did mention that, I was impressed with certain aspects of the first test.
Uh-huh.
Second test, again, it seemed like they resorted back to the norm, which is that poor body performance let us down. And, what I was looking for was a bit of consistency in terms of the batting lineup. Even if it's not the same players, somebody stepping up, coming to the fore, that didn't happen. So, loss, 1-1 draw. Again, I'm not sure what us as fans can take away from that test series. Progress for you?
Not really. It's just the typical West Indies, as you say, one step forward, two steps back. I was overseas, so I really didn't watch any of that test match. I remember the first day, it was the Friday, I can't remember, and I saw we were in a very good position. We bowled out Bangladesh. We were like 70-something or 80-something for 2, and just had this massive collapse the next day, and then from there it was downhill. And it's like you said, it's like, you look for consistency. You look, okay, we had a few 90s, 100 in the last test match. You're looking forward to those guys or even somebody else stepping up and performing with the bat. And it was really disappointing, especially since it was such a good test win. To then just come the next week and just perform like that, it was really disappointing in my opinion. So I don't think there's been any progress. I don't think I learned anything new. I think, obviously, I believe that our bowling attack is good. That's nothing new. But our batters, again, the level of consistency that is required at this level just isn't there.
Yeah, so I would agree. I think it's a disappointment to draw a home series against Bangladesh.
Yeah.
No disrespect. But yeah.
I think that was their first test win in the Caribbean for a while, too.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Question, though. So when is our next test series? Who's the opponent?
I have no idea. But I did see some news that Australia actually played a 3-test series in the Caribbean. I think maybe next year, which is new because usually our test series with the base size are 2 tests and stuff. So I think they made some arrangement to have 3 tests. So I mean, they might roll me over, but I still think it's good that the Aussies will be coming to the Caribbean and that they're going to be 3 tests. Should be a good series.
We'll see. But moving on to the ODI series, we won the first 2 games. I think it's 2-3. So
yeah,
we won the ODI series. Again, I didn't watch the games either. I think you said earlier you didn't either.
I didn't either. But I think judging from following it, because I have been following it on Cricinfo and Twitter and stuff, I think what you didn't get in the test matches, you got in the ODI series.
Right.
So, for instance, the first ODI, you had Rutherford making his first century. He's been in very good form in ODI cricket. And then the second series today, we had Brandon King making an 80. You had Casey Carty and Evan Lewis getting out in the 40s. So it's good to see. I mean, Shea did score runs in the first ODI, but it's good to see other batters stepping up than Shea. But I watched a few overs today, and Nikhil was on commentary. The tall, right? Yeah, and he was saying that over a 2-year period, we had like 5 test hundreds, and 4 of those were from Hope. And he said over the last 7 games, we've had the same 500s and only one has been from home.
Right.
So like he was saying, it's really important for us in order to win games and win series that other batters step up instead of just hope. And I think that is important.
I agree, but what I would say, to me, the biggest difference between the ODI team and the T20 and the Test team is Hope, because I feel as though Hope has taken the role really in the ODI team of batting through the innings and it allows the other batsmen. King has done well, for example, but it allows the other batsmen to really bat around him. Whereas in T20 format, I find that we have good players in terms of ability, but I don't see that same consistency or that same ownership to take control of the innings and really bat through the innings. You know, it's almost they get out as soon as they come in, or they, before momentum can build, sometimes they try to go off the ball and they get out, or they give the wicket away cheaply when the momentum is being attained. And in Test game as well, I'm not sure. I don't want pulling the finger at anybody, but I'm not sure who is supposed to be.
Craig used to be able to do it, but he's been in poor form.
Been in poor form, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I was actually saying to myself, if Craig's poor form continues, is that a position? Do you think that's a position in terms of leadership, opening the innings, which is an important position in that site? Is that a position that they're looking to change at some point? Because it has been a while since I remember, or that I can recall.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Being amongst runs, and I keep on asking myself again, why is Shirhope not playing that side? I think Shirhope should really play all 3 formats.
Yeah, we do need to find a way to get him in all 3 formats. My father asked me the same question you just asked about Craig, and my question would be, who do you replace him with? My thing is that when you have Craig has a body of work behind him. To be honest, he has a lot of credit in the bank. When you have a player like that, you back him to get out of form. In my opinion, I think maybe it may be a case. It may be time to take the captaincy and maybe just then focus on his batting. But then again, who are you going to give the captaincy to? I have no idea who's the vice captain of our Test side actually.
Is it Elder?
No, because he's no longer the vice captain of the one-day side. Okay. So I think he's been stripped of the vice captaincy.
Of every format? Yeah,
I think so. Because I haven't seen VC beside his name for a while.
Isn't the keeper?
Joshua De Silva? Yeah. I ain't sure. I really should look into that,
Last time I heard it might have been for a series.
I don't think he's ready though. I don't think he's ready. If it is him, but
no,
I wouldn't.
That's a problem because they said you should never be scratching. Sorry, Craig has been captain in chair so long. I think about 2 or 3 years.
Right? Longer.
Longer. Right? That by now there should have been somebody that is being groomed for that.
And we always struggle with that,
You should never be scratching your head like, who can I get this, this position to?
We always struggle with that succession planning.
It's not necessarily even about just replacing Craig. Not saying this should. Listen, I don't follow enough with that season. I would just ask the question because I know it's batting format been bad, and I know, for example, historically, I remember when Gangu was captain. Gangu was regarded as a relatively decent captain, but batting form was horrible, and eventually couldn't maintain his place in 11.
Right.
I always feel like he should pick strongest 11. Over that 11, the captain should then be picked. And I feel like captain should, it shouldn't be a case. We've had instances where people argue that has been the case, though, where captain has been 11 because of the captaincy, not necessarily because of form. One of the coaches comes to mind, but
let's weigh in on that.
But it should never. That should not be the case. So my thing is that at some point I would like to imagine that you were grooming somebody for the role. So if, like you said, they decide that okay, well, maybe Craig needs to go back and fix the batting form. I focus on being team on merit, not just because of the captain, for example. Then it should be just where the vice captain should be installed and should be there when you take the role, even if it's not.
Yeah.
Even if you don't see it like lasting 5-10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think, I want to drop him for sure. I mean, I don't think there are any opening batters batting down the doors. So I back Craig to go to his route. I do, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, time will tell.
It will.
But yeah, so just to put a footnote on the cricket segment, testing, 1-1 draw. We're not overly impressed. I guess we don't think much progress has been made. And the ODI performances as Marissa said, happy to see some batters stepping up. But again, I think the presence of Shea is the glue that holds everything together for the most part.
Yeah.
And yes, and we also need to, as Marissa said, we need to find a way to get Shea perhaps playing
all three formats,
which I think should have happened a while ago by now, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's it for our cricket segment. I know we very short, very brief, but now we turn our attention to the football. And we're starting with Manchester United, who I believe in the last 24, 48 hours?
48 hours.
48 hours, thank you. Have replaced Dan Ashworth as their sporting director. A guy who they would have chased all through the summer, or even before the game of Newcastle. He only lasted 5 months. This comes on the back of 2 consecutive defeats to Arsenal and then Nottingham Forest at home at the weekend. So, Marissa, Ineos was supposed to, if you listen to Gary Neville, Ineos was supposed to be the dawn of a new era. You know, finally we got the power away from the Glazers. What do you make of these new developments at Old Trafford?
Well, I'll make reference to our conversation we had prior to coming on air. Like, nobody's going to get, if you get right on the first goal, perfect. But it's very unlikely you would. And this is coming from a Chelsea fan whose owners have been questionable with certain decisions for the last few years. So you're not going to get everything right. We made a few appointments to not only managerial, but behind the scenes, where we quickly got rid of the person or the person would have resigned. So, it's all about having the right fit, and sometimes it doesn't fit. My issue with this is what you said in the introduction. You literally chased this man. He had to go on gardening leave before he could join you. And I think people were saying he was on gardening leave longer than he was in the job.
I think it's the same
right. I figured people were just exaggerating. But you chased this man because you felt he was the fit for your club. And one thing I did admire about Ineos that we as Chelsea Football Club didn't do is that they focused on putting their structure in place first. I mean, granted, they didn't really have a choice because they came in mid-season. And there wasn't a transfer business to do and whatever.
Right.
But I admired that they were looking to put their structure in place first, and then they were going to go from there. But I mean, the fact you chased this man, you felt that he was the right fit for your structure, and now what happened? So maybe you could shed some light on what has happened, because you alluded to hearing some stuff. So what has happened here?
Yeah, I mean, what has been reported is that Jim Ratcliffe was not at all happy with the productivity of Ashworth so far. I guess he was expecting Ashworth to be a bit more hands-on, a bit more vocal. There's certain departments that he did. The department, for example, that he thought Ashworth should have been more integral in implementing or at least improving. I do also believe that apparently there's some residue over some of the decisions that would have been made in summer with regards to Ashworth and his role in Ten Hag ultimately staying, for example, and even the transfer outlay that was made in summer. So, I mean, it was reported that when they appointed Amarin, that Omar Barada was at the forefront of that appointment rather than Ashworth.
And what's Barada's role at the club?
No.
Okay, I'll check.
Check for me. I can't remember the exact title. But he's one of her reps. I can't remember the exact title they call him though.
Go ahead though.
Great. So, the thing
CEO.
CEO. But yeah, so I mean, like, even hearing that like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I feel like that should have been a tell. Because normally the sporting director would be the person that handles that remit.
Right.
I mean, all the well, man, you have been holding a very good poker face and saying that they're unified and stuff like that. But yeah, it seems as if, whatever expectations Ratcliffe had of Ashworth, ultimately, the job that he was doing didn't meet those expectations, and there's been a rift. It seems as if, I'm also hearing that Ashworth would have felt as if he would have been left out of a lot of key decisions at the club as well. So again, seems as if they had cliques, divisions amongst themselves. this is my disappointment with it, and this is what I will say, and then I'll hand it back to you. Due diligence. I said it last time we recorded that I was interested to see if the appointment of Amarin was one where they did their due diligence and they really believe in this manager long term, regardless of the growing pains that may occur. And I'm not saying that, for example, stay with this man 6 years down the line, he's still in the same position, but I feel as though it should definitely be, all right, we can bear with this man for more than 18 months, which has been kind of the norm that managers have lasted that man in the head over the last few years. Time will tell, right? But again, due diligence. I'm sure that if they had done their due diligence, or at least communicated properly what they wanted from Ashworth, then it should have been clear that some of the personality or the role that Radcliffe is claiming that he was expecting, that wasn't necessarily Ashworth still. So then why did you say him? It almost looks as if this was just ill thought of. We just meant for this guy because he had a good reputation. That's how it feels in the moment. But like you said, all is not lost. There been a plethora of clubs who have changed management, for example, and not gotten it right the first time around. So I think the most important thing for Manchester United now is what happens next.
Yeah.
Who's the next appointment? How do they restructure it? What are they going to do in the next 1 or 2 minutes? That's the most important, ultimately, because you might reflect on this as, well, they recognize the mistake early and they wipe their hands of the problem and moved on from there. Or, is this a sign of things to come where there'll be a lot of, sudden changes or, drastic decisions that people think, well, didn't you guys plan? Didn't you have a plan? Why aren't you sticking to the plan necessarily? So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think my concern is that they're saying they're not looking to fill the role of sporting director, at least not right now. So that's a bit of a concern. But yeah, it's interesting to see what happens next, what happens in their transfer business. Because I can see, watching Man U so far under Amarin, I can see that there are going to be some players that are going to flourish in the system, and I can see that there's some that are not. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there. Their transfer outs are going to be as key as the ins. So I'm really interested to see what happens here. But it's not a good look, not because they got it wrong, but because of the fact that they hunted him for so long. And when you look at the other appointments, even like you mentioned Amarin, is it just a matter of you like what he's doing, or do you really think he fits where you want to go, the vision for the club? And you look at the other appointments, are they just picking people because they appear to be best in class, or are you doing your due diligence behind these people? Because Ashworth has been at multiple clubs. I believe he was at the FA too,
Yes.
for a point in time. So obviously there's enough there that you can do background into how he works, how he operates. So for some things to fall apart so quickly is really interesting for me. But like you said, I think the key is what happens next.
Yes, what happens next? Ashworth had a very, very good reputation being at the FA. He's credited with a lot of what's happened at St. George Park in England. He's credited with, Brighton. Played a key role in where they are now as a club. Even Newcastle. So, yeah, like I said, I always get the sense in my head that some of the manager appointments that they appointed, like Van Gaal, Ten Hag, it was just about, we just almost like what Tottenham do sometimes. When Tottenham appointed Conte, for example, or even Jose, it's like we appoint these guys because these guys have a successful reputation, or they've recently coached a side that won big trophies, and we feel as though some of that winning substance could rub off on the squad or whatever the case would be. And I don't know. I feel like it's not an easy thing, but there's no reason why Man United can't take some time and identify the personnel or the coaches that they have wanted, because they always have resources. Man, you always has money.
Yeah.
And once you have money to spend, you have resources available that you can compete. Then it's just about identifying or strategizing the right approach. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. But one thing for sure, they can't blame the Glazers. No, the Glazers ain't running football.
It's true. It's true. All right, so next on the agenda, this weekend's fixtures. So, we had some very interesting results, I would say. neither of us had a really great week. Because, we predicted 3-game weeks for the leaderboard. Last week was our poorest week, to be honest. This weekend's results. I think that's because some interesting results were thrown up. You had Arsenal drawing at Fulham. You had Manchester United losing at home to Forest. You had Chelsea winning 4-3 at Spurs. City drawing 2-2 at Palace. Liverpool Everton was postponed. So, which game do you want to delve into first?
We talk about mine is I guess the logical thing would be to talk about their defeat at home to Nottingham Forest, which I didn't watch again, but I saw the highlights, the goals or what's not. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I mean, it looks like somebody defending to me was poor. Somebody goalkeeping was poor too.
Yeah. That's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think Marissa has credit in the bank because he just got there.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of time in between games to coach and stuff like that. He has a worry squad that's left behind, so it's not his players. So I feel all things considered, and honestly, I feel like mine from now on to the end of the season will be up and down. I feel like against some opponents, so get some wins, and then against the better teams or what's not, they will have their moments where certain things happen as well. So I think the Man U thing is going to take some time. I do expect a huge upturn in results from now on to the end of the season. But yeah, I guess what my Red fans will be looking for, nobody else to wrote these buzzwords like identity instead of playing and stuff like that. I think what they'll be looking for more than anything else is also better decision makings with the ball and with football, because some of the goals that they conceded at the weekend was because of poor decision making.
Yeah.
Lenny Euro bring a ball from defense and play it to Hubert, and he passes the ball behind the guy and it leaves the team open. I don't know where Onada even for that shot.
Still can't get figured out to know.
Yeah, so there's some again you can't legislate for individual errors, but
True.
I guess for my to improve, or we'll see if Amber can make a change where maybe players start making better decisions on the ball within possession or over the possession in terms of where to position himself. I think one of the things that definitely needs to improve as well is their running capacity. It seems like as longer games go, the more they fade.
Yeah.
So I guess over time, but again, it's hard to do that because normally playing games and then you have a game in 2 days time, you just want to get your players to recover and then go again. So it's going to be difficult, but at some point, I guess next season, hopefully, you'll see a more physically fit team.
I think this kind of fits in with a wider concern I have with Ineos in terms of their decision making. We talked just now about, how they had hunted Ashworth and then they let him go, questioning due diligence. It's like, it takes me back to the whole Ten Hag thing in the summer. It's like they lost their nerve because all reports were saying that they were going to sack Ten Hag. And it's like they lost their nerve because they won the FA Cup. And I think Amorim would have been so much better off having a preseason because, like you said, he not only came in at a bad time, but he came in at probably the worst time when Man United are playing twice a week. So like you say, there's not enough time to work with the players. There's not enough time to implement his training methods. And I feel like he's being hamstrung by poor decision making from Ineos. Like, if they had done what they were supposed to do and sacked Ten Hag, I think you then could have built a summer around Amorim, assessing his players, seeing what players he needed, spent that 200 million on, maybe he would have bought the same players, maybe not, and actually implemented a style. And then, but like you said, I don't think that there should really be any pressure on him because really and truly, there's not much he can do right now. So like you said, I don't really expect upturn in form either, but I just think it's a tough position that he's been put in by Ineos, to be honest.
I mean,
well, not by Ineos, but because of Ineos' poor decision making.
But is he in a different position to, for example, Klopp came to Liverpool? Because Liverpool had a poor season the year before. I remember the last game of the season. I was the penultimate game of the season away to Stoke. I think we lost 7-1. Regret result.
Yeah.
I didn't forget it, but that was Gerard's last away game, and then the last game at home we lost Crystal Palace. It's Stevie's last game at Anfield, and Stevie was leaving obviously to go to MLS. there was a lot. I think there would have been a huge acquisition of players to replace Suarez that had left the summer before. That was my start. I took on the club and forced his way out to get the Man City, I believe. But the point I'm making is that there would have been sections of the fan base or sections of the media who felt that Brendan Rodgers maybe should have gone, because that's the same thing that happened to Ten Hag in the summer, where they have changed the coaching staff but kept the manager. That happened to Brendan Rodgers. We changed the coaching staff, but we kept Brendan Rodgers. And by October 15th, remember correctly, after the Marissa derby on the one draw at Goodison, that ain't scored for us. I can't remember who scored for top Everton. But watching the game against Spurs, there's a famous clip that goes
the infamous theory on retouch. Who could forget? Yeah,
exactly. When they announced that he would be sat and would have been the favorite to replace him. So I mean, it's not so dissimilar. It's not the first time, for example, that you could have made a case that somebody should have been sat in something, but they stayed on. So my whole thing is that I'm not critical of Man United about that aspect of it. This is where I think Man United would have let themselves down in terms of public perception. Ineos is that you made it public.
Yeah.
Like, for example, we said speculation. Like, I think the year before that, when Dalglish was coach, there was speculation that he would have been sat. There was a meeting called at the end of the season and they sat him. But even Brendan Rodgers, was pressure on him because of how much money they spent, how badly they put the season before. But I don't remember hearing that managers being linked with the Liverpool job incessantly, for example, and he was given money again to spend again. But I said it was like, this guy was getting sacked at some point. But with Man United, what happened to them was that it was so public that they were openly searching. I think I even came out and said, he's aware that thoughts are going on and he thinks it's normal. What part not normal? But you know what? Maybe Chris was right, and maybe I'm not going to walk from the job. I can force you to sack me. Maybe that's what it was. Fair play. But my whole thing is that I think that's where Man United got kind of get away from. Too much of their business is done in public.
Yes, 100%.
People are always going to report and speculate.
Yeah.
But they have to almost become an honest law.
Yeah.
These things we don't talk about here. I don't know. It's almost like it's never been a secret.
Yeah. A lot of their, even down to team news. I mean, they're leaks all the time for most clubs, but it just feels like so much of Man United's business, team news, backroom issues is always in the public.
It's always in the public.
Yeah, they need to really fix that.
I don't think that's been such a removal from Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
Because Sir Alex Ferguson and David Gill were pretty good at
keeping things,
behind closed doors. And Man United need to go back to that sort of operating. So like, you call it losing nerve. I think that Hag's argument for a while last season was so bad because of the injuries. Like, he felt the squad was sustained throughout. And I guess, I'm not saying that I definitely didn't buy into that argument. But if they contend, they had a lot of injuries, for example, long-term injuries to key players, like Luke Shaw and whoever else, like he would have signed Martinez, I think, was off for a long time too. Okay. And they say, well, give it a crack at it. Sure. That's their prerogative. But I think where they were let down. Because it's normal for a team to be underperforming. A team with lofty expectations based on the money that they spent as well, and the reputation of the team, the club rather. It's normal for people to be replaced this season. That's not the first time, it's not going to be last. But when you found a summer where you know that your employees were looking, speaking of Pochettino, speaking of Tuchel, speaking of Southgate maybe, I don't know. But to me, that was not. I think that's where they let themselves down. Yeah. I know, people say, well, they make such every sense.
Yeah. Well, work to do on the pitch for them, for sure.
Yes.
Their next game is Manchester Derby.
City.
So
City,
they have a chance. City aren't, and we get to City. In fact, that's delve to City now, actually, to draw at Palace. I think both of us predicted a win there for City.
Yeah, we did.
I was a bit surprised by the result, to be honest. Obviously, because I predicted a win, but I felt like the Forest win was probably a turning point. But I don't know. We talked about it many times before. City's defensive issues are becoming very, very obvious. To be honest, though, I don't think Lewis's second yellow was a second yellow, to be honest. I don't know if you saw the incident.
That was yellow.
I don't think so. I think he was caught.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think he was caught, and then yeah.
Sorry,
So
I know you mentioned. I remember.
yeah,
But
I don't think that hamstrung them.
He got himself to blame.
True, for the first yellow. Yeah.
Was for foolishness.
And I think that players need to be a little bit. I know it's an emotional game where you're in the moment. We say heated things, but I just think to be getting a yellow card for dissent still at this stage in the season, when you know what the rule was, what they set out at the beginning of the season will happen, like just stop doing it. Just stop doing it. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with City, man. It just seems that defensively, they just aren't the same. And I don't think the back four, who started for them? I believe Vardio started, right? Aki started. Akanji?
Walker started, I'm not sure if Akanji started.
Okay. That's a pretty decent back four. So I don't know what's going on with City. They just seem to be coughing up a lot of chances. And it's very unlike them, I would say.
Well, I predicted that City would have won as well. You said turn the corner. I mean, I don't think 1 minute is evidence of turning the corner. So I wouldn't go that far to say it was hitting on for just turning the corner. But I City are genuinely a better team than Crystal Palace. I felt like they'll win that game as well because against Leicester teams normally when they play City that's a gimme, right? And it's not because obviously that's Selhurst Park. It's a difficult place to go sometimes as well, but. Like I said, they're unusually open. I think some of their defenders are making uncharacteristic individual errors as well, and that's not helping. And also, they're not getting a lot of the goals from other areas of the team. Remember, we always talked about before City had different ways to score and different personnel to score high numbers. Haaland is still getting his goals. Yes. But in terms, I know De Bruyne recently came back, but in terms of other personnel, the Guns, Foden's, Bernardo Silva's, their goals have dried up. Yep. Sabino hasn't really been scoring either. So, he might, if we had Kenneth on the show again, he might fall into the category passenger bird. Who knows? But, yeah, I think... Every time I see Doku, I think about that, honestly. But, yeah, so I think, it's just a matter of the goals have dried up in certain areas, apart from Haaland. And, that's putting pressure on your defense as well. Yeah, because they're conceding chances and conceding goals. Do you think they're also the title 6 points behind you with you, and you have a game in hand? Oh, okay. It's early. Okay, so is it 6? Let me double check. Go ahead. I think it's 6. Yeah. I know Chelsea's 4 behind you, and I have game in hand, right? Actually, it may be 8 because I think we're 4 ahead of City. Let me double check though. Maybe 7 or 8. Yeah, it's 8. So 8 points, right? It's early. It's 15 minutes play for you guys, 14 for myself. It's early. Are they all into the race? It depends. Well, that depends on if Liverpool can maintain the form. Liverpool maintain the form, and they continue to drop points. And yeah, at some point you have to say, well, I think the moment is too big a claim. But I will still say it's a bit too early for that. I think if City are still well off the pace come end of January, I might say yes. Yeah, I agree. Because I'm not sure when I have to do some double checking on that, but when City will expect their injured players that have been out for lengthy periods to return. But we all know that City has remarkable powers of recovery in terms of putting a sequence of wins together. Yeah. So if there's one team that can put, not necessarily will come back and win from here, but if there's one team that can put let's say 10 minutes on the box and just put pressure on someone, it's City. It's true. So I think Liverpool and their teams that are chasing title will be well wise. Yeah. Not to take City for granted. I agree. Not to take this excellent position that, for example, Liverpool put themselves in. I don't think they should take it as, for example, we've won. And you still have to go to the Etihad. So there's you can't really know what that game will look like and what you would need by that point. So I think it's a little bit too early to say that City's over a bit.
I agree with you. I think January will give us a better idea of who is and who isn't in the title
I
race.
think you just need to get past this Christmas period.
Yeah.
And then you see, because we'll have some tough games this month.
Yeah.
Fulham at home, Tottenham away. I know you be talking about it. You never know what can happen.
Never know where you get with Tottenham.
Correct. So
So speaking of the title race, Arsenal Fulham, 1-1 draw. Remember you messaging me telling me, no way Arsenal gonna win this game, so good call. But let's talk about Arsenal for a bit.
Okay.
Fulham, let me give Fulham credit. Fulham have had a decent start to the season, to be fair, which is why you had predicted a win.
I don't know if it's because Fulham had decent start to the season. I just felt as though the whole Arsenal's playing.
Fair.
I just felt like that game would be a derby. I feel like it'd be high energy.
Yeah.
I felt like Fulham could get something.
Fair enough. About Arsenal, now there's been a lot of discourse going around, so I want to hear your thoughts on this. There's been a lot of discourse going around about how Arsenal are scoring their goals.
Right.
I believe the last 3 goals they've scored in the league, 2 against United, 1 against Fulham, all from corners. We see a lot of rival fans commenting on it, wondering if they can't do anything else. And we see their fans defending it, saying that it's a key part of their armory and it's a good cog to have.
Great.
Where do you stand?
I mean, set pieces are a part of the game. So like I can't begrudge a man if you got set pieces for taking full advantage. It's a part of the game. If it wasn't, there'd be no such thing as corners or free kicks.
True.
It's part of the game. You know what I mean? If Arsenal are efficient and very good at executing set piece routines, then the rest of the league needs to become better at defending
100%.
what Arsenal do from corners or Arsenal. So that is the rest of the team's business.
Are they creating enough though from open play? Yes.
Generally no. The games that I've seen of Arsenal up late, I haven't watched every single Arsenal game up late, but I saw like the Inter Milan game in Champions League. I saw the game against Newcastle. I saw a few. I saw a game against Fulham for sure. I saw a few. Yeah, like okay, so I think they would beat them West Ham comprehensively. But the West Ham game apart, it felt like how Arsenal play for me for the most part is that Arsenal try to like create overloads on the wings, and they haven't been able to do that of late with any particular efficiency or success. So it seems like it's just side to side. They're crossing the ball at times, but the crosses aren't necessarily dangerous. And I feel as though against Fulham, to their credit, though, there were moments where they tried to get hit by them. But I felt like in certain games they were just kind of like fixing on playing in front of the back 4 or back 5, and not necessarily trying to get hit, but then get behind the team, or they wasn't getting behind the team often enough. And if you're gonna have me play, you need to get behind the team on occasion, or at least be able to. So yes, I get where people come from in terms of like, there has been games where there's been a lot of creativity in terms of open play and creating chances. But I don't feel as though you should say like that's only at Arsenal door. I mean like team set up well, for example, it could be what we the team doing too.
True.
Right?
And I heard that Fulham, I didn't watch the game, but I heard that Fulham were very solid defensively as well.
We're well organized, yes. Yeah. And that that sometimes that can be a difficult thing to break down.
Yeah.
So again, I feel like how do I put it this way? I feel it comes down to Arsenal's transfer business. Arsenal haven't suddenly become a team that score from set pieces. I think it's been a year or two that Arsenal have been very good at set pieces. And the goals are shared. They don't have a prolific single score like Haaland, for example, or like Mohamed Salah, but they have the shared goals. Like Martinelli would get a few, Trossard with chipping, Saka, again not prolific, but there's this bit. Jesus used to add some, Odegaard as well, but it wasn't like anybody getting 25 plus. So I feel like where Arsenal maybe would have fallen short in terms of their summer business was that maybe they should have gone out and tried to identify somebody to add a bit more firepower, consistent firepower. And that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a traditional number 9 or a focal point.
No, they did say Raheem Sterling.
Burn?
You heard me.
But Sterling was never sorry. Sterling had good goal scorers in that city, yes, but I wouldn't regard Sterling at this stage of his career as the answer to that problem either.
I agree.
I've really seen Sterling either. He's like he just comes out of number.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he was signed necessarily the expectation that he would force Martinelli or Saka Wheaty.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I feel like it's more a case where Arsenal could have done a different bit of business in the summer in terms of in the attack, and I feel as well it's a case that they're not creating enough from what they recently.
Yeah,
but that might best be fits.
Might be, but yeah, I just think I haven't watched a lot of Arsenal this season. Watched a bit of the Man U game. Obviously, I watched their game against us. But to me, they don't look like how they looked last season. Something looks a bit different. I know all the guys been out for a while, but the fluidity, I don't know, they just don't look as threatening to me going forward anymore. And I do agree with you. It's something that we've talked about. Like, they can't win the league with Havertz up top. Jesus, you mentioned Jesus used to chip in, but I think Jesus
has struggled since returning.
Really struggled. And that could happen. But yeah, I think definitely, you used to have, like you mentioned, Saka, Odegaard, Trossard, Martinelli chipping in with goals, but that is not happening as much. I see a lot of Arsenal fans questioning Martinelli's performances this season. So yeah, I don't know. Arsenal, they're not out of the title race, but I think it'll be very difficult because, like we said the last time we were here, their fans are saying, 8 points is not a lot. You can claw that back, but you really have to depend on Liverpool slipping up majorly. And then you still have to depend on them going on a run of games, and so far they haven't been able to do that. So we'll see. We'll see how Arsenal shapes up over the next few weeks. They have a couple interesting fixtures coming up as well. Go ahead.
But I remember, let me get Arsenal fans a little bit of hope. I remember last season, I turned a year, they went on a pretty decent run to get themselves into
they were near perfect, I believe.
Exactly, position towards the end. So they are capable to a certain degree. So again, I wouldn't underestimate that they were getting enough points to put themselves thereabouts. But like you said, I know I've never been convinced that Arsenal win to even the seasons that they've challenged, even when they were in front.
True.
I feel like that was the best chance when they had the 8-point lead.
Yep.
Lost their nerve. Last season, I wasn't convinced that they would. I didn't think last season that they were better than City. There are points I didn't think they were better than Liverpool either. But the finish ahead of me, to their credit, but nevertheless. And this year I haven't been convinced. So you said the performances have been up and down. And yeah, it's like you said they haven't been flowing, but it's been up and down in the sense that for me, like they might have a good half, or I haven't really seen them have a good 90 minutes, but they have a good half.
Yeah.
And then they come back.
Yeah, they have spells.
2 weeks later.
Yeah.
And it's like they look a little horrified it is.
Yeah.
Something else that I would say that hasn't been happening for them a lot this year, as often as they did last season, because Arsenal will be last 2 seasons, they start really fast. And they found that normally they used to start and they would like be 2 or 3 level up first half and one, teams being already. Yeah. This blistering start, and I haven't seen that as much this season as well.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Yeah, I agree with you. So your last game, Chelsea beat Spurs 4-3. Quite interesting game.
Was it?
For me it was. I remember when Spurs went 2-0 up. It was quite calm.
Okay. But go ahead, let me hear where you were.
I was quite calm because I know how Spurs are and I know how we've been playing. So I wasn't like too worried, to be perfectly honest. Because I felt, the goals that they scored came from 2 mistakes, 2 errors. They had other chances, but we weren't playing awfully. But second half, we really stamped our authority. It really should not have been 4-3. But, yeah, I am pleased with the boys. I think one of my pleasing... I know I come on this show, I make a lot of digs about Spurs, but I think going 2-0 down away from home at a rival, last season we wouldn't have come back. I think I've definitely seen a clear mentality shift in Chelsea. I've seen it when we went 1-0 down to you, 1-0 down to Arsenal, 1-0 down to City. Our heads don't drop and we back ourselves to get back in the game. And I think that's a clear shift from last season for sure. And yeah, I think unlike what we were seeing with City and Arsenal, our goals are also shared around. Last season, we were quite clearly Cole Palmer FC. And this season, you're seeing a lot of people chipping in. Jadon Sancho scored 2 in his last 2. Jackson has had a good start to the season. Your face is killing me right now, but whatever.
I'm listening.
So yeah, I think Enzo and Caicedo are starting to add a couple goals from midfield. So I'm pleased with where my club is at. So good game.
Well, I thought it was a game that Tottenham could get something from. I think that was,
sure.
that was my prediction.
No, you predicted Chelsea win.
I did?
Yeah.
I remember that. I did?
Yeah. You actually said 2-0, and it was like, we ain't keeping a clean sheet. Yeah.
But, okay, so, you know what, it's the end of term.
Yeah.
Memories a little fuzzy.
I understand.
But anyhow, getting back to full force.
But they've been good in big games, so I think people would have been expecting them to do okay in this game.
I'm happy that I predicted that Chelsea. Nevertheless, though, I was quite calm, even though you were 2-0 down. Because remember, notice I didn't message you. I had a lot to say during Arsenal film, but I know Arsenal ain't winning.
Yeah.
But I didn't message you. Because it wasn't a need to get carried away.
Yeah.
I thought we got turned in different.
Yeah, different. Game was definitely over at 3-0.
But
I wouldn't have been as calm at 3-0 as I was at 2-0.
Right, no one would.
Yeah.
In fairness. But let me talk about 2 things. Because with that performance, that's what I can call him today. 2 things. Well, affectionately.
Sarr and Bissouma?
No, I didn't want to start with them. I might get them eventually. But there's got a lot of for me to play through. This is the reason that I wasn't calm. I was hoping that you would say, but this is the reason I wasn't calm. You're correct. You guys weren't playing badly necessarily.
Uh-huh.
But looking at the first, we're 2-0 down within the first, 11
10
minutes?
11
minutes or so. Tottenham started quickly. But even in the first 10, 15 minutes of the game, and even getting those 2 goals, I said to myself, hang on a minute, this game ain't done. Because whenever Chelsea got a hold of the ball, Chelsea were able to find Lavia coming short, and Lavia was able to turn the ball in corner. And you got Enzo one saying and Palmer one saying acres of space. And I'm just like, at which point Tottenham can become a bit more compact.
Yeah.
I should have short this up because if you keep on giving Palmer and Enzo, I was worried for Tottenham.
Uh-huh.
So I felt like Chelsea were still carrying a very, very substantial threat. And then Jadon Sancho pops up with a goal. I Tottenham changed nothing. But to be fair to Tottenham were causing problems the other side.
Yeah, they were.
Uh-huh. Because Badiashile looked a bit shaky to me.
He was.
First half. And I thought Son was more involved in the game.
Yeah.
First half as well. As was Dejan Kulusevski as well. So Tottenham were still having joy too. But the game was open. The midfield was very open. And I felt like whenever Chelsea were able to play through
quite easily.
Pressed quite easily.
Yeah.
And there was lack of protection at times. And I'm like, all right. Second half start. And Chelsea made a substitution. I think Lavia went off, Caicedo went into midfield, and Gusto came on. Uh-huh. And Chelsea started. And it was this is what disappointed me with Tottenham. And this way, I don't mean it, but this way I call them 2 things and how I might start. There was no reaction.
Yeah.
They lacked intensity. They were off the pace. There was lack of sharpness. There was space. They were being out-thought. Everything under the damn sun.
Everything.
And at which point, Ange Postecoglou, are you going to respond and do something here? Because it was only a matter of time you go to coming. It'd come in like a tsunami. It'd coming.
Yeah.
You could have seen it coming. I didn't Barbados, I could have seen it coming. So if you did right there, but you had in the touchline box at North London Stadium, wherever the coin now, put the coin again, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yes, please.
Apparently,
we call it 3-point lane.
You and everybody else. But the point is, right, is if he's the right there in the dugout, money fun. And if that Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, supposedly one of the best stadiums, I've never been there, but supposedly one of the best stadiums in football right now, in the world right now. Well, you couldn't make an adjustment. You couldn't tell because I did. This guy got me too. You started the game with two holders, Sarr and Bissouma. What you tell them? I sit down.
Yeah.
sit down and after the last space, don't come forward.
Yeah.
No
subs, no tactical tweets, nothing.
And I can't remember what was he 2-2 equalizer?
The penalty.
The first penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes. And again, like Basuma, he's an experienced player, make it a rush challenge, and then Sar was even worse. My God.
Yeah.
Palmer get okay the box. He parachute my back. Anyway, it's one of those days where I'm happy that I'm not a Tottenham fan.
It's true.
Because
most days I'm happy I'm not a Tottenham. Actually, every day.
You're right, but I see time. Like, it was just.
It must be frustrating to watch as a fan.
Exactly, and like you said, the scoreline 4-3 flatters Tottenham.
Definitely. Because Palmer, it probably should have been 2-2 at halftime because Palmer had a missed kick in the box. I don't know if you remember.
Yes.
When Enzo went to byline and cut it back. So yeah, I definitely think it flatters Spurs.
But this is what it showed. I know that Tottenham has a young squad. Sorry. Tottenham has a very young squad, and so I'm not sure if it's a case where Postecoglou didn't have personnel and made changes.
Yeah.
But it was just a case where Marissa made adjustments that he didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Chelsea weren't as open as they were in first half.
They definitely weren't.
So Tottenham remained the same. And again,
and he also switched Badiashile. Yes. Like you said, Badiashile was shaky, so he switched Badiashile and Colwell positions.
Right. And then even in midfield when Chelsea were full position, you saw Chelsea had a nice little box of 4.
Yeah.
And Tottenham were basically playing around they weren't able to go through or play through it. So again, there were certain tactical adjustments I felt as though Postecoglou didn't make.
Yeah.
That maybe could have made. But I definitely know you need to just do something.
Yeah.
Even at 2-1 in front, because it was Chelsea got the goal immediately in second half.
True.
Add somebody else in the midfield, maybe make a midfield train out of midfield too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. All in all, good result for Chelsea. 4 points behind Liverpool, second in the table. Still not in the title race, in my opinion, but I think we're doing well.
You are fun.
Whatever. I still think we're doing well.
But before you ready to move on?
Yeah, I was gonna cut for sponsors.
Before you cut for sponsors, we ain't done with football yet. So we talked about all the sides in the top half of the very traditional big six, right? Mm-hmm. But you ain't talk about one. So we can talk.
Yes, Liverpool won the weekend.
I can do this here. Allow me.
Go ahead.
The biggest winners of the weekend was been Liverpool. He didn't kick a ball, so I think Marissa derby get postponed because of Storm. Winning Dara, that's an interesting name. But yeah, they kick a ball and Arsenal drop points.
City
drop points. Chelsea would have dropped points, but I knew better. I thought it would have pulled out because that would have made it the perfect weekend.
But your two closest rivals to me for the title drop points, so it was an excellent weekend for you.
He's a typical Chelsea fan. Not a typical one. I know Chelsea fans that call me and talk big.
No, I know better.
You know better. So you don't
Robert Sanchez.
That's the only reason?
Yeah.
Honestly, right? Chelsea are playing so well. Who's the next game, baby?
Brentford at home, I think. I gotta check when we do the predictions.
They can beat them. But anyhow, Chelsea are playing so well. I think I've bet so much money that I think, Chelsea are go there. But you are ahead of schedule. I think he's
definitely ahead of schedule.
Don't do a lie to the public.
Definitely. I was expecting it next season more so.
I was too.
But not this season. So we're definitely ahead of schedule.
Season, but honestly, in a short space of time, since we have community show and it's been fast.
Yeah. Maresca is really doing a good job, I find. He's really, really doing a good job. I love how he is with the media as well, but he's doing a good job. When you look at the players after games with the fans, there's a real spirit there. So I'm really pleased. And I noticed, again, when we win, you don't hear the stories. Remember at the beginning of the season, we never talked about it on the show, but they were talking about Bedad, Ebali, and Todd Bowley being at war, basically. I mean, they might still be at war, but you notice you're not hearing it anymore. So when you win on the pitch, it helps quiet certain stories off the pitch. So that's also helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so.
Congrats to Liverpool on winning game week. Wait, what was 15?
Well, I know. Well, sorry. They think, again, City and Arsenal dropping points strengthens Liverpool's position. If Liverpool can win their game at home, which is not an easy game, it's going to separate the last Marissa derby going to separate. I'm pretty sure the Premier League can find some way to squeeze that game in a week that I don't want the game.
Probably.
Knowing them. No, not probably. That's definitely what they would do. Going to bad money like that. David Cook and all them that.
He got fired.
I know. But it's still gonna mention it. All them so that against me. You know that them they squeeze against somewhere that I don't need it, don't want it. They probably in a week where my firm did. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's inevitable. But nevertheless, again, I enjoy the moment for now. Again, yeah, excellent week.
Yes. So now we take a quick break for our sponsors.
Whole Health Pharmacy, located in Jordan's Complex, Speightstown, St. Peter, carries a variety of products to take care of you and your health. Essential oils, muscle rubs, and the run-of-the-mill medications. And definitely don't forget your vitamins. Vinci sea salt, air humidifiers, tumblers, and women's havens pads too. We got it all for you. Don't forget your Barbados and natural Vinci snacks. So for sure you're gonna keep coming back. Ever hear about structured water? Well, tell your son, tell your daughter. Whole Health Pharmacy. More than a pharmacy, we take care of you and your health.
And we're back. All right. So last week was a very interesting prediction. Week. 2 weeks ago. We did a lot of predictions. I think we did 3 match days, and I had a great, great, great time. So I got 12 points versus your 6. So that leaves me with a lead of 14-8.
So how many points?
14. You have 8. I had a good week.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess do one every so often. You have an offensive. When you get a good week, you got another.
I'm ignoring you. Anyways, so we're going to do this upcoming game week predictions. And we'll start with Arsenal at home to Everton. There's no early Saturday kickoff, unfortunately. So Arsenal at home to Everton. No problem. I'll go first. Comfortable win for Arsenal, 4-0.
Comfortable win for Arsenal. Arsenal at home to who again?
Everton.
Oh, okay. I'll go 3-0.
Okay.
Arsenal. Just to be clear.
I don't think anybody doubted wasn't clear on what you meant. Ain't nobody predicting 3-0 Everton. Manchester Derby next week Sunday. Man United away to City.
You jumped too far ahead, man. There were games on Saturday.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Liverpool at home to Fulham. Your turn.
I'll go 2-0 Liverpool.
I'll go 3-1 Liverpool. Manchester Derby. This is so tough because neither team are in particularly good form. And United always seem to race for the Derby. Somebody telling me 2-2. What happened?
I think go ahead if that's your prediction.
Oh yeah, 2-2.
But you said some talent, but you didn't lock it in.
It's true. I locking it in.
I'm sure you're forward.
Okay, I locking it in. It's a bad prediction, but I'll go 2-2. Let's stick to it.
I'm gonna go 2-1 to see.
That's a fair show. Spurs away at Southampton. Interesting game.
I'll go Spurs 21.
Southampton been in the game for the season yet?
I think so, yeah. I can't remember against who, but I think they won maybe at least one.
Yeah, they win one. I know who it was against either. I will make a very bold and very bad prediction, but I think Southampton will win this 1-0 and Ange will get his sack. As a result, next day. Chelsea at home to Brentford.
Chelsea at home to Brentford.
I think that was my turn.
Yes.
I think Chelsea win 3-1 or 3-2. We'll go 3-1. Brentford are the second highest scorers in the league.
Are they?
Yeah.
I'll go with Chelsea as well. I think you guys will win 4-1.
4? Whoa. Well, we are the highest scorers in the league, so can't keep a clean sheet. But hey, so that's it for our predictions. That's it for our show as well. Want to thank our sponsor, Spiritless Studios, Whole Health Pharmacy. Follow me at Marissa Simone 91, June 9107.
06. Lord have mercy. I almost thought you had it. June 9106. Okay.
And follow us at the Dugout.
Dugout Podcast. Okay, that you should get that. We'll go. Since you're struggling so badly. Alright, so yeah, so follow me at June 9106. Follow us at the Dugout Podcast. And again, if you like this video, irrespective of Marissa's mistakes, please like, share, and subscribe.
As we said with Ineos, you can't always get it right. You get it wrong from time to time. Okay. And the girl is stuffy.
Sorry.
I made it though. So yes, we'll see you again next week.